My name is Jordan Redfield Wade. By day, I'm a PI working for the NACPD. But by night, my friends, my family, and I fight for the city in a different way. We are the guardians of Newark City. I promised my mother as she lay dying that I would protect and defend this city from anyone that would mean to cause it harm. I am a protector. I am a guardian. I am Red Wing. Episode 7. Monster.
A young man sat at the bar in a pub in Blackpool, England. He was wearing an oversized black hooded sweatshirt to hide his pale face and dark hair. The TV blared from across the bar. He swallowed down his ale and signaled for another. The bartender hesitated but gave it to him anyway. Some people just needed to drown their spirits in a couple pints. Some people just needed to drown their sorrows in a couple pints. On the TV, the news anchor cut to a live feed from Newark City, where the feed had just cut from the interim mayor to a face on a billboard.
Turn it up.
What's that, mate?
I said, turn up the telly.
Easy, easy. Keep your hair on.
Could never understand his reasoning for this, but we have discovered a deeply mentally disturbed man who had stolen the identity of another human being. We foiled his plan, and he will no longer threaten our great city. Now, I know a lot of you out there think that I'm some kind of criminal, or otherwise some kind of ne'er-do-well, but I promise you, I am not. I work directly with the NACPD, and I remain compliant with their laws at all times. It is an honor to protect and serve you as they do. This city is my home, just as it is yours. And 3 days ago, someone threatened our fair city. In a very brief period of time, it took everyone working together to evacuate this city in under 2 hours. I witnessed people offering help to their older neighbors. I witnessed people guarding each other from hurt, lending an arm when a neighbor was unable to stand. I was overcome with that level of love that exists in our city. Newark City is a beautiful place because of all of you, because of every person in this city.
Well, that's bullshit. That whole thing is such bullshit. Compliant with the law?
Aye, and what would you know about that?
That's my hometown. That's my city. Compliant with the law. That little shit poured acid down my throat, punched my father off a building, and blew up my mentor with C4. And yet, after all that, I'm the one who had to run. How is that fair? How is any of this fair?
As Alejandro got angrier and angrier, he squeezed his fist, causing shadows to appear around the television, and squeeze it until it burst. When he heard the sparking, he took a deep breath.
My telly.
You can put that on my tab, as well as the rest of this fellow's drinks. Is this seat taken, my friend?
By all means, take a seat.
Thanks. So, I couldn't help but overhear, but you're here from Newark City, aren't you?
I am. It was my home since birth, and now that flying asshat has taken everything from me.
How so?
He took my family, or at least the people I thought were my family. My mentor's wife escaped with me and we came out here, but she ditched me. So in under a week, I have gone from having everything to having literally nothing. I'm all alone.
Well, what it sounds like you need is company. In which case, it's a good thing I'm here.
I suppose so. What's your name?
I'm Reese. And what about you, mysterious hooded man?
My name is Alejandro. You can call me Al.
Pleased to meet you, Al. Can I see your face?
If you really want to see it, there. You can see me.
Just as I suspected. It's always the hot ones that hide their faces.
You think I'm attractive?
Oh, you are quite handsome.
So you swing that way, then?
I swing in any direction I feel like swinging. And in this case, I'm swinging in your direction. What about you?
I swing in the direction of men, yeah.
Ah, how fortunate for the both of us.
Is it?
It will be, especially if in the next 2 minutes you get up out of that chair and follow me back to my flat. What do you say, Al?
Alejandro didn't say anything. He simply stood up and followed Reese back to his flat. Immediately as they stepped through the door, Reese grabbed Al's face and kissed him. Al was not used to or expecting affection like this. He kissed Reese back. Reese put his hand up Al's shirt, feeling his abs and his chest. Al shuddered at his touch, but took his shirt off. They didn't even make it to the bed for the first round. It happened right on the floor of the living room. And the second round was in the kitchen. The third round was on the living room sofa. And for the fourth, they finally managed to make it into the bedroom. When Al woke up the next morning, one of Reese's arms was under Al's head. Al was cuddled up to him. Al took a deep breath, breathing in the scent of both of them from the night before. It was intoxicating. Reese awoke and chuckled lightly, staring into Al's eyes.
How do I smell?
You smell like 4 rounds of incredible sex. In a word, you smell wonderful.
Excellent. Glad to oblige.
You know, this isn't something I expected. I normally wouldn't tell you this, but since you paid for the TV last night...
Oh, trust me, I knew that was you. You're among good company when it comes to powers and magic. I have my own.
Oh. Well, that's a relief. Anyway, this power is new to me. It's not the one I was born with. Before this, I had the power to make people obey every word I said, as well as desire. I could make someone want to fuck just like we did last night, but that gift was taken from me.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I'm not. For the first time, I'm realizing how nice it is to just be wanted and know that I hadn't forced it to happen on my own.
Ah. Well, again, happy to oblige, but I...
Is this the part where you kick me out? Or tell me you are seeing someone?
No, not at all. This is the part where I tell you I'm starving and ask you if you want breakfast.
Oh. That's... unexpected.
You beautiful boy. It saddens me to see how mistreated you've been. People have taken you for granted and not shown you what you're worth. I would like to show you that you are worthy of affection, if you would let me.
Alejandro kissed Reese. Alejandro stayed in Reese's flat for 2 months. Reese taught him everything he knew about magic and how to use Alejandro's new shadowy power. They went out for dinner dates, had amazing sex, and then they would just talk. Alejandro felt lucky. After 2 months, he was ready to tell Reese the truth about his father. But before he could do so, he got an anonymous letter saying that he had to return to Newark City to take over the gang his father had left behind. He told Reese that he had to leave.
These last 2 months have been the best 2 months of my life. And I don't want this time to end, but I I have to go home. I was going to tell you this, but I wanted to wait till I was sure about us. My father was Antonio Parcelli, the don of the Parcelli Mafia in New York City. He died 2 months ago, and if I don't take over and settle the chaos, everything my family built would be toppled.
I understand.
I want you to come with me.
Are you serious?
More than serious. There is a front for the business called the hunting game. In just a few months there, I can transform that business into one that is legitimate. We could have a life together. Please say you'll come with me. I love you, Reese.
Al, I love you too.
If you love me, you'll come with me.
Don't give me an ultimatum. We talked about that.
Shit, you're right. Listen, Reese, I want us to be together, and this is our chance for that. Please, will you come with me?
Okay, I'll come.
Thank God. I love you, Reese. I'm going to go out and get boxes so we can pack.
Alrighty. Hey, it's Reese. The letter worked. The plan is all a go. Be ready to move. We leave tonight.
I had put on the same suit I wore to court as I stood outside the city hall. It was Tuesday, roughly about midday. I had called this press conference yesterday, when we'd finally come back from Castle Morgan. I was tired, as the past few days we'd been training a lot. I now knew I could teleport myself and one other person reliably, but it was fairly taxing to do so. We found it easier to just have their driver, JV, drive us back from the estate. I thanked JV for the 3-hour drive home, and gave them a rather hefty tip as compensation. Today I was on stage, at the podium with Dean by my side, and Faith by my other side. Faith today was wearing a slightly less bright pink than usual, but she was smiling, and this time her smile looked genuine. She had really come through after the wedding, and when it was time to heal the 4 brothers who had actually still been unconscious, she managed to do so. It took a lot out of her, but she was a trooper. And all 4 boys woke up safely. I asked whether they wanted to stay in the castle and learn how to use their powers for good, or return to New York City. They didn't hesitate. They planned to stay there. Alan asked his sister Amelia if she would train them, and she agreed to do so. I cleared my throat. The crowd of reporters had gathered, and were looking at me expectantly. I sighed, smiled, and began to speak.
Hello, citizens of New York City. I wanted to thank all of you for your ongoing support during the last 4 weeks. As many of you undoubtedly know, 4 weeks ago I was arrested on suspicion of colluding with a young woman who killed her abuser and her parents. I have been acquitted of that crime, and all charges have been dropped. I want to thank defense attorney Willis Savage for her work in defending me, as that was of vital importance to my freedom. I want to thank the jury for their service as well. As I saw was reported after the trial, it seems there was a rumor that the mayor and I had been kidnapped. I can assure you that, though it may have appeared that way, that is not what happened. What happened was this. I realized that Faith and myself had a complicated history that we needed to sort out. It was, on both of our parts, not acceptable to have that personal history come before the needs of the public. I am pleased to say that during our time away, Faith and myself managed to make amends. From now on, we will be allies in our fight for justice and equality. It is my honor to announce that I will be dropping out of the mayoral race and fully supporting Faith on her campaign. Faith Flaherty is a wonderful and strong person, and I know she has the ability to heal things that ail this city. I trust her leadership, but I also trust that should she need help, she knows she can always ask me for help, and I will come running. I would also like to announce that over this past weekend, I was able to wed my longtime partner, Dean Morgan. I would also like to announce that over this past weekend, I was able to wed my longtime partner, Detective Dean Morgan, in a private ceremony with friends and family. We have decided, in lieu of having a honeymoon or a reception, we will be hosting a fundraiser at the estate in about a week's time. The funds generated will be going toward a new cause that is very near and dear to my heart. While I was in the county prison, I learned some things about the justice system. I saw firsthand how many of our fellow citizens are stuck in that place, who do their time and come out with nothing to show for it. And when they do emerge into society, we shun those people as if they had the plague. The justice system deems them ready and fit to return to society, but we refuse to let them come home and reintegrate with society. This is unacceptable, and this has to be changed. I am pleased to announce that Faith and I will be working on 2 campaigns regarding the justice system to rectify this problem. We are working on finding funding for the public defenders who have been criminally underfunded for decades. And when they are criminally underfunded, it makes it very difficult for people without money to get adequate representation. And in addition to that, we will be working to reintroduce the prison education system, as well as bolster the existing reintegration programs. No one should feel that they have to reoffend just in order to survive. No one should have to live with the stigma that follows them around so long after they are released. We as a society need to do better. We need to be able to forgive one another. Thank you, everyone. I think we have time for 1 or 2 questions.
There were questions being shouted out, but one of them rang out above all of the others. It was from Kit.
Do you think the city should be looking for Elizabeth Brennan and Ember O'Hay for their connections to the murder you were just acquitted of?
I froze. I knew how I had to answer. In truth, I didn't want them to be charged. They were in my care, which meant I was aiding and abetting 2 criminals. I couldn't let that come out. I had to say something, though.
I believe that justice should be carried out. No further questions, please. Vote for Faith Flaherty for mayor.
You know, we're going to have to do something about those girls.
I know, Dean. But I can't just throw them under the bus like that.
Jordan, they killed 8 people between the 2 of them.
That wasn't them. It was whoever activated their powers when they weren't ready. When they were too
young? Was that what you were going to say? Jordan, you got your powers when you were younger than both of them.
Damn it, Dean, I know. But these girls, they're just kids. I am not going to send them to jail over this.
Jordan, we are harboring fugitives from the law. That is illegal.
Yes, Dean, I'm aware of that.
I'm sorry, baby, but that's the law. And one of the girls is on camera committing the murder. It is what it is.
This doesn't have to be this way. Give me 24 hours, babe. Please.
Okay, but I need you to hear me. If you do this for these girls, You need to ask yourself, how far does this go? Are you going to hide every criminal you think didn't mean it? Or are you going to follow the law, like you tell everyone you do? How many lies are you willing to tell?
The speech finished. Across town, underneath the hunting game, Alejandro watched the coverage.
Well, I'll be damned. Those boys tied the knot.
Does this bother you? I know you have a history with them.
If I'm being honest, no. It means nothing to me. Which is strange, isn't it? Normally I care so much about these kinds of things, but I honestly feel nothing about it. Good riddance.
How magnanimous of you, my love.
Besides, baby, you're the only one I want. Though, speaking of honesty...
Yes, Al?
Why haven't you told me anything about your past?
I have. I told you about Oxford and rowing and magic.
But not your childhood. Not what your powers are. Not where you grew up. Not where you learned magic.
You should not open this can of worms today, my dear prince.
Darling, you live in my house. I slave away to keep you contented, and I keep you entertained at night, and all I ask in exchange is honesty. And if there is one thing I won't tolerate in this, my place of residence and business, you attempting to gaslight me, and I sure as hell won't be doing all of this Bluebeard behavioral bullshit. Now tell me, who are you?
You sound just like Jordan, my shadow man. Not all those details are mine to share. I can tell you I was born in Ireland, but I am barred from speaking to you of my coven, and it's not in your authority to get me to reveal those details. And as far as my powers are concerned, for all intents and purposes, I'm a collector. I collect the specific magical energy tied to people's abilities, tap into their powers.
I want a name.
Excuse me?
I want the name of your coven.
Well, that is simply not going to happen.
Tell me, or you can go the hell back to England on your own.
Really, Al? Do you think threatening me will do anything? I could just teleport back to the UK, is that what you want? To go back to being alone?
Don't you dare.
All alone. Abandoned, abused, and orphaned by everyone you hold dear.
Shut your mouth.
2 fathers, and neither of them thought you were worth a damn. Just a worthless, broken disappointment.
I said, shut up!
Tendrils of shadow sprung out from Alejandro's body. They formed a loose approximation of hands and wrapped themselves around Reese's throat, raising him into the air. Alejandro's eyes were black.
What? Were you going to kill me? Go ahead, you weak, loveless monster.
Just get the fuck out. I don't need you.
The tendrils dropped Reese onto the ground. Reese looked up, meeting Alejandro's black gaze before smiling and teleporting away from the spot. Alejandro sat down with his triggered memories, and he started to sob. Elizabeth and Ember were hesitant to sit down and talk to me initially. I understood both girls had a lot of trauma in their lives, so I made sure to have Scarlett, Jeremy, and Joanna there for the conversation.
This isn't an easy decision to make, and I don't want to make that decision for you. You've had enough people, enough men, deciding things for you already. I want to keep you safe, but I'm struggling with how to do that.
We can't send them to the police.
They just got their freedom from their abusers. We can't take that from them.
I don't want to go to jail.
Can't we stay here?
Fact of the matter is, I can't keep harboring fugitives here. I could go to jail. If they decide that there is probable cause to search this place...
And boarding school isn't really an option. Paperwork and such, and even if I could forge some documents, it would raise way too many questions.
I've talked to some folks at the division. We can erase any traces of their identity, but that'll take a few months, and at that point, we'll still have to send them somewhere.
Isn't there anyone in the city you could call? Someone who won't ask questions?
Someone who could hide people, just for a few months until we can be erased.
I can't think of any... Wait, I have an idea. Oh, but it's gonna sound a little crazy.
What's the idea?
Well, think. Who do we know is someone who managed to hide a lot of people in one very small area for a rather long time, right under our noses?
Jordan, you cannot be serious right now.
Listen, I know it sounds insane, but if there's anything I've learned in the past few weeks, especially in that jail, it's that people can surprise you. I want to give him the chance to do the right thing and protect these girls. And in truth, they have rather a lot in common with him. They've all seen some shit.
Is he even in the city?
I think he is. And if my hunch is correct, I know exactly where he'll be. I'm gonna go talk to him. If this goes the way I plan, we'll be able to move the girls into his protection tonight.
Okay, fine, but where are you going?
Simple. Bird Keeper?
Yes, Jordan.
Can you trace the ownership of the gambling house?
Certainly. Originally called the Hunter's Game Room, that particular establishment has belonged to the men of the Parcelli crime family. The last known owner was Antonio Parcelli, who died last year. However, it is still open.
Jay, this is a really bad idea. Well, it's the only one we have right now. Besides, I have something he wants. Time to make him an offer he can't refuse.
The hunting game had managed to recover from the not-so-wonderful failure and security that it was to have 4 teenage boys break in and try to rob all of the guests. Honestly, it could have been worse. It was early evening and calm. That was when I chose to teleport in and appear in the center of the room.
Sorry to spook you, darling. I'll be taking this microphone from you. Attention gamblers, gangsters, and malls. You have nothing to worry about. Keep on gaming, don't mind me, darlings. You see, I'm only here for one of you. All I need to do is speak to Alejandro. Alejandro, I know you can hear me. Come forward and speak to me.
2 gunshots rang out, both missing me. The third shot would have hit me had I not thrown up a force field just in time.
Stand down, guards. I will speak to him. Bring him to my office. Red Wing, follow them quietly.
Glad I got your attention. As you wish, Prince Al. Have a good evening, everybody.
So, I see you've entirely lost your mind. How tragic. Guards, you may leave us and return to the ground floor. Yes, Giorgio, I insist on being alone with him. I'll be perfectly fine.
Good to see you too, Al.
Jordan, how the hell did you find me?
It's really very simple, Al. You're pretty predictable. You'll always do what Daddy would have wanted. Can't have the Parcelli family run by a non-Parcelli, can you?
I suppose not. I've made strides to clean up my act. I'm a legitimate business owner now.
I noticed. Good job.
Congratulations on your recent nuptials. I was a little surprised that you managed to tie the knot so quickly. And quietly, as it were.
Thank you, I guess?
I had been until quite recently considering tying the knot with my boyfriend. Unlike you, he's actually attractive.
Well, you know what? I'm happy for you, Al. I'm happy you have someone in your life who isn't lying to you. Or, at least I hope he isn't. But I suppose we'll find out, won't we?
Fine. As fun as this is, I'm sure you didn't come here to just chat. I'm sure you have some kind of mission you're on. What do you want?
I need a favor.
Well, isn't that rich?
You're probably one of the few people who could handle what I'm asking for.
And I would help you because...
Because I believe you have some good in you. I believe you aren't just a villain. And even if I'm wrong and you aren't going to help me out of the goodness of your heart, I've brought you something that I've brought you something that I know you'll want.
Go on.
No doubt you saw the footage of that girl using her powers to kill those people? And I suppose you've heard about the girl called Little Miss Arson?
I watch the news, so yes.
Well, I need you to harbor the water girl and her best friend and help them. Teach them how to control their powers.
You must be joking. You expect me to babysit 2 teenager girls?
It's not babysitting. Okay, maybe it is a little bit, but it's more than that. You have more in common with these girls than almost anyone else in the world. They've lost their parents, as did you. They've had extremely fucked up childhoods, just like you. They both tried to get their revenge, just like you. In fact, the only real difference is that they killed the people they wanted revenge on. And I'm still standing.
Are you calling me a failure?
No. I'm just saying that you'd understand them a lot more than you could predict. You're the exact kind of tutor they need.
You're asking me to harbor fugitives of the law in my legitimate business? I'm not risking my life for 2 girls who kill people. Who's to say they won't kill me?
They won't. Their pain is gone. They feel remorse, but they have each other.
That's too much of a risk, Jordan. Find someone else to be your guinea pig.
Fine. Like I said, I know what'll make you say yes. And that is this.
Jordan? What is that?
Oh, this? It's a very special power. One that only 2 other people in this world have. One that belonged to someone you cared about. This is the bottled power of Isaac Redfield Wade, my uncle.
Why would you give this to me? Is this some kind of trick?
No tricks, Al. Just bargaining. If you take these girls, I'll give you this very special power. And if anyone asks, I'm giving this to you because it will help you protect the girls.
Why should I trust you won't just take it away like you did my voice and my scent?
Honestly, because I specifically can't. I don't know how.
So, You've gone rogue, have you? My oh my, Jordan. You sure are slipping.
Excuse me?
You are slipping. You're showing your hand. What do you gain from this? I gain 2 new special minions, and you get nothing. You're giving your family's greatest power to a villain. You know that doesn't sound right.
You're not a villain.
I'm a killer.
If you want to get super technical, so am I. And so are the girls. Besides, like I said before, this is for the girls. What do you say, Al?
All right. We have a deal, Jordan.
Good. Good. If you give me a few hours, I'll make the drop-off.
Bring them to the basement. There are a few apartments down there. I'll have some of the staff spruce it up to their liking.
Alejandro?
What?
Thank you. I knew you were good.
And I always knew you had a naughty streak in you.
Later that evening, after the rooms for the 2 girls were all made up like gorgeous hotel suites, Alejandro waited for me at the drop-off point. He got a text message from a number he didn't recognize that said I was on my way, and that we were less than 5 minutes out. He suddenly felt strange, as though the world was no longer moving around him, and everything was quiet, too quiet.
What the hell?
Did you miss me, Al?
Reese, what are you doing back here? I thought you'd left me.
Oh, I did, and I'm not coming back.
Reese, please, I'm sorry.
I know you are. Unfortunately, I simply don't care.
If you don't care, then why did you return?
That's very simple, Al. You have something I need.
Reese! What are you doing?
Your shadow power, darling. I need it. For my collection. Just enough to fit into this vial.
Stop right there, Collector.
Worry not, Redwing. I've gotten all I need from him.
Oh my god, is he okay?
He's breathing.
Relax, girls. I'm alive. Reese, why would you take that from me?
Simple. It wasn't yours to begin with. And besides, you've shown me you didn't deserve the power of darkness when you used it on me. But alas, I didn't take it from you. The power is still inside you, you just can't use it for a while. And now I'm one step closer to my goal. Yes, I'm afraid we're now one step closer to the end of the world as we know it.
Not if I can help it.
Oh, darling, you absolutely can't help it. It's coming whether you like it or not. The Coven has already arrived here, and the plan is already in motion. Ta-ta, Guardians. Oh, and Alejandro, with a temper like yours, you'll be alone forever. Have you ever thought that maybe everyone you love betrays you because you're not deserving of love? Think about that a little bit, while you still draw breath.
Are you okay, Mr. A?
I'll be fine. Mr. A. I kind of like that.
You shouldn't listen to him. Everyone is deserving of love.
With all due respect, I'm not sure you're right.
I'm pretty sure she is right, Mr. A. Besides, he's definitely wrong.
You won't be alone forever. You're gonna be taking care of us. The least we can do is keep you company, Mr. A.
I suppose you have a point, girls. I'll keep you two safe and comfortable.
In the meantime, I can't have you guarding them without powers. So, here, drink up. Alright, let's see if I can do this. Argue. us.
Whoa. That hurt much less than last time.
Fair enough. Just be sure that you don't overexert yourself. This power uses a lot of energy. And girls, take care of yourselves. You're not back up to full power yet. But when you are, Al will teach you how to use them. Just don't go killing people, okay?
Scout's honor.
Agreed.
All right, Al, keep them safe. I've got to go. Goodbye, Ember. Goodbye, Liz.
So. Do you girls like ice cream?
Of course, oh my god.
Do you have Netflix?
Do I have Netflix? Duh. Well, clearly, it's time for a sleepover. What do you want to watch?
Let's all go on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Princess Bride. Inconceivable!
The new 3 strange amigos laughed and went back into the gambling house. I watched from above and smiled at the strange little family I'd helped put together. I sat there for a few minutes and thought about Reese. What did he mean by already in motion? How close were we to the true apocalypse? How was I supposed to fight something I couldn't prepare for? And most importantly, who is the Coven?
Thank you for listening to Red Wing. Today's episode was written by J.V. Hampton Van Sant. This week you heard the voice talents of J.V. Hampton Van Sant, Ellie Hirschman, Amanda Jacobson, Christine Osimo, Nathan Foster, Jordan Cobb, Lainey Hobbs, Dane Shiner, Kiara Jeter, Laura James, and David Alt. For the complete cast list, please visit redwingpodcast.com. The title this week is based on the song Monster by Meg and Dia. You will find a link to that song in the show notes. Episode art this week is by Michael Godfrey. Our music is composed by Nico of We Talk of Dreams. If you want to listen to any of these themes, please visit our website. Check out our show notes for links to our merch, our social media, and our website. As always, stay safe and fly high, heroes.